This video is sponsored in part by ExpressVPN. What's valuable? My name is Mr. Beats and I'm trying to pay off all my student loan debt. Does anyone have any money I could borrow?
I do. Here you go.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, look at this. Wait a second. Federal Reserve note? How do I know this is worth anything? Well, currently the United States dollar, the official currency of the United States since 1792, is worth something because nearly everyone in the world believes it to be worth something. It's true. If everyone decided they didn't like it as a form of payment, then it wouldn't be valuable at all. But because the United States has such a strong economy, and it has for a long time, people around the world still believe in it. Yep, even during these somewhat chaotic times, most around the world consider the United States stable, both economically and politically. It's true. Most global central banks hold US dollars in reserves, and traders use it as the standard unit of currency in international markets for commodities like petroleum and gold. Wait, hold up. Gold? Gold, you say? Now there's something valuable. Can I get some gold?
Here you go. I have some.
Wow, pull them through again. Thank you so much. You know, up until 1971, gold used to back up this. In other words, the value of the US dollar used to be linked directly with gold. They called it the gold standard, and it wasn't just the United States that used it. Countries converted paper money into a fixed amount of gold while also setting a fixed price for gold. That fixed price would determine the value of the currency. So for example, if the United States set the price of gold at $1,000 an ounce, the value of the dollar would be 1/1000th of an ounce of gold. So why did countries do this? What were the benefits of the gold standard? Three big reasons why countries used it was, number one, to supposedly bring price stability to markets. Number two, to provide a fixed international exchange rate for trading. And number three, to combat risky monetary behavior by governments that spend money they don't have and therefore cause too much inflation. Basically, the gold standard prevented debt and deficits from getting out of control and helped reduce the size of government. Oh my, I just realized I almost forgot about silver. Can I get some silver too? Do you have some silver?
Yes.
Of course she does. Look at this. I am doing pretty well for my student loans. Thank you very much. So there's also the silver standard. It was basically the same thing as the gold standard, but with silver, linking the value of currencies directly with silver.
Silver and gold. Seems all he thinks about is silver and gold.
For thousands of years,
Silver and gold
were used as currency all over the world. So why gold and silver? I mean, I know they're pretty and all, but why have they both been so valuable historically? Well, both
silver and gold
are rare enough that it's like, whoa, when you have them, but common enough that you could turn them into coins. Both have a fairly low melting point to turn into coins. And as coins, they were durable, easy to get around, and held value for a very, very long time. Even during the tough times, gold and silver have value. Not only that, but you can make highly desirable stuff out of them. Humans have been emotionally connected to
silver and gold
like few other items. Now, gold always wins out over silver since silver tarnishes over time and it's more rare. So that's why folks used
silver and gold
as currency. Over time, though, they were both just too rare to make a practical currency anymore, and so governments just began linking their currencies to them. For example, in 1704, the British West Indies began linking its currency to the Spanish gold doubloon. By the 1800s, the majority of countries around the world were either on a gold standard or silver standard in varying degrees. However, there was also this thing called bimetallism, in which, as the name suggests, governments linked both gold and silver to their currencies and at a fixed ratio to each other. So, back to the United States. In 1787, the United States Constitution actually established both
silver silver and gold.
as the official money of the country. Throughout the 1800s, there were actually quite passionate debates between pro-gold folks and pro-silver folks, or more accurately, pro-bimetallism folks. I mean, look at this. All these delegates at the 1896 Democratic Party National Convention were so passionate about getting off the gold standard and allowing silver as a currency that they carried William Jennings Bryan, their presidential nominee, out of the building after he gave a free silver speech, which was known as the Cross of Gold speech, by the way. Yeah, just like a football coach who just won the Super Bowl. By the way, that same year, 1896, Americans could trade in $20.67 for an ounce of gold. Ultimately, though, countries would abandon both.
Silver and gold.
The gold standard, in particular, lost a lot of steam during World War I as major players in that war just started printing a bunch of currency not backed up by anything to pay for all those weapons they needed to destroy stuff. Countries eased back on the gold standard after the war ended, but then the Great Depression happened. In 1932, when the Depression seemed to only be getting worse and worse, Americans could still literally trade in $20.67 for an ounce of gold. But the next year, they had to trade in $32.32. Why? That was the year President Franklin Roosevelt got rid of the dollar being directly linked to gold, allowing the federal government to get more money into the economy and to lower interest rates, all in the name of fighting the Great Depression. Later, after World War II shook up monetary management worldwide, the United States, Canada, Australia, Japan, and a bunch of Western European countries all established the Bretton Woods system, which was basically a modified gold standard in which the participating countries figured out international balances in US dollars as long as the US kept its promise to redeem the holdings of their central banks for gold at a fixed rate of $35 per ounce. But this just led to the United States beginning to run out of gold. And finally, on August 15th, 1971, President Richard Nixon was like, nope, and announced that the United States would no longer redeem currency for gold. And thus, by 1973, the gold standard had died. Today, while most countries have pretty much abandoned the gold standard, many do still have some gold reserves. Now, when you just print money without backing it up with anything, history has shown it can lead to high inflation. I mean, think about it. If there is so much in circulation, why would it be worth anything? We've seen hyperinflation even in the past 2 years in places like Venezuela, which has had a more than 10 million% inflation rate since 2018. 10 million! Yep, their currency became worthless and they had to adopt a new one. And whenever inflation starts to creep above 5%, people do get nervous and start to worry and maybe even talk about bringing the gold standard back. When Ron Paul ran for president in 2008 and 2012, he made bringing back the gold standard a part of his platform. He called for the ending of the Federal Reserve Bank, or the current central banking system of the country that works to create a more stable monetary and financial system. For more on the Federal Reserve Bank, George Soros has paid my friend Grant from the Casual Historian $1 million in gold and silver to make a video about it. Grant?
Thanks, Mr. B. So yes, when you're done here, go ahead and come over to my channel and check out my video about the founding of the Federal Reserve. I promise it is 100% not controversial in any way, shape, or form.
Say, did you get that gold and silver from Soros yet?
He said he would get it to me after his next meeting with the head of the WHO. Apparently they're still discussing how much autism to put into this next round of vaccines.
Right on. Thanks, Grant. So go check out his video when you're done watching this one. So, yeah, back to Ron Paul. His biggest criticism of the Federal Reserve is that it's severely inflating the currency, and he might have a point, because like I said at the beginning of this video, the reason why this currency is so strong is because the whole world perceives it to be so valuable, but that perception could change. After all, look at the chaos going on in the country right now. Maybe that could alter the value of this thing. I better hurry up and go spend it. Remember a couple weeks ago when I basically told you the government is spying on you right now? Well, check it out. There are ways to fight back. This video is sponsored by ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN keeps your internet activity anonymous from both the government and your ISP by encrypting your data and rerouting your internet connection through a secure server. It also keeps you safe from DDoS attacks while you game. Oh, here's one I didn't even think about until recently. ExpressVPN allows you to expand your entertainment selection. So check it out. If you're in the United States and you can't find that much hyped Michael Jordan documentary, The Last Dance, on Netflix, well, that's because it won't be available on Netflix until July 19th for Americans. Welp, with ExpressVPN, all you have to do is to change your location and boom, you can watch it on Netflix right now. Well, I'm in the United States, so let me try that. Okay, so I'm switching it from the United States to United Kingdom. Refreshing the Netflix page. There it is. The Last Dance. It works. Go to expressvpn.com/MrBeat and find out how you can get 3 months free. Thanks to ExpressVPN for sponsoring this video. Okay, so I simplified as much as I could, but obviously it does get much more complicated once you dig deeper. So do check out Grant's video over on his channel, The Casual Historian, about the Federal Reserve. And what do you think? Should the United States return to backing up its currency with an asset of some sort? Let me know in the comments below. And thanks for watching. Good luck out there trying to earn money. I hear earning money is hard. Good thing I know people. Am I right? I have friends in high places. Yeah, Soros, I need some more money to pay off my student loan debt.